years ago there was something like this and we did this and that and it worked. There was also another one like this. So you can consider this scenario A, scenario B, so that he comes in, brings his expertise and helps you to deal with that.
So that's one bit you took, and that was on harassment, for example. What about wrongful dismissal or unfair dismissals? How does that come in when it comes to disputes in businesses?
Again, taking it from the context. So you have started, let's say, a small bakery. You have employed some 2 or 3 hands to help you do the baking. You have some 2 or 3 people who are doing the selling and so on. You would find that in that setting, the people may not, even though the law requires that they do that. I know Ghanaians run a lot of their businesses informally, so it is useful not to pretend. That is what happens. So the people in the business may not even have employment contracts.
Should they?
Yes.
No matter how small the business is?
Yes.
So let's say somebody like you're mentioning, this baker who has employed 3-4 people, he or she is supposed to get some legal representation, legal advice for a document of a sort to be put together.
This is the terms on which you have been employed.
Wow.
But most people don't. So
no, in fact, we don't.
I'm taking it from that angle.
Why do you think we don't? Before you go further, why do you think we don't?
I think that as a lawyer, what I have seen is that we like informality. That's the nature of Ghanaians. That's number one. Number two, anytime you bring in a lawyer into a relationship, people look at it with suspicion. It's like, why can't we trust each other? I've had that experience over and over again when I advise somebody who is starting a small business or doing a certain transaction to make it formal, put it on paper, and the other side has taken offense because it's like, you don't trust me, how can you doubt my integrity, and so on. So you see that the informality goes in, the business is started, the people don't have employment contracts that sets out how much they earn, what is an infringement, and if you are late, what is the punishment. So sometimes the owner is late, he just given a warning, but B is late and he's asked to go home and not work the whole day and forfeits its pay because there's nothing written. Now, when it comes to the kind of things that I am suggesting, the idea is that right from the beginning, have some, even if it is not written, have that discussion, all of you on the same page, to have an understanding of how you will resolve disputes when...
Would they deny it if it's not documented and signed or signatures appended to it? Would one party deny that, well, we didn't have this conversation? What's your proof?
Well, so I'm not suggesting that as the ideal situation, but the point I'm making is that looking at the situation we normally find ourselves in, the very basic or the very least you could do is, as part of your business organization, business strategy, if you are not putting these things down, to have an understanding with you. And it builds, a team. I have noticed that where you sit with your workers, you plan these things, and something occurs, you can point out to them that, you remember we had this meeting, and we agreed that if you were late for 30 minutes, these would be the consequences. And we all agreed. Okay. So that consequence is going to apply. Now, you also asked a question about,